No one believed it was possible. A little girl who hadn't walked in years. A beggar boy with nothing but hope in his eyes. And a promise that could change everything. "Let me dance with your daughter, and I'll make her walk again," he said. Would it be a miracle, or just a cruel joke? What happened next stunned the entire village, and it will leave you speechless. They said she would never walk again. But no one told Anya she couldn't dream. In a small, sun-baked village, where narrow dirt roads twisted between humble houses, lived a little girl named Anya. Just a few years ago, she had been a whirlwind of energy, skipping, running, and laughing through every corner of her home. Her giggles were like music, filling every room, every garden, and even the hearts of the villagers. But all that changed in a single moment. An accident that left her legs weak and broken, stealing from her the one thing she loved most: the freedom to move. Doctors had tried everything: therapies, treatments, even expensive consultations. But nothing seemed to work. Her parents watched helplessly as the sparkle in her eyes dimmed, replaced by frustration and quiet sadness. Each day, they carried her through the garden, showing her the bright flowers she could no longer touch, hoping somehow she might find a reason to smile again. Her room, once full of toys and laughter, now felt like a prison. She stared out the window for hours, watching other children run and play, feeling trapped in a body that refused to obey her will. She longed to feel the wind on her face, to hear the crunch of gravel beneath her feet, to simply walk again, but hope seemed like a distant dream. One warm afternoon, while Anya's mother sat wearily on the front steps, a boy appeared at the edge of the village. He was small, no more than 12, with tattered clothes and eyes that shone like polished stones. He moved with a strange confidence, as though the dirt and dust on his bare feet carried secrets of unseen worlds. "Let me dance with your daughter, and I'll make her walk again," he said, his voice calm, but filled with a quiet certainty that made Anya's mother freeze in shock. She blinked, unsure whether to laugh or shoo him away. Could a mere beggar boy really do what doctors and medicines had failed to accomplish? The villagers whispered among themselves, some scoffing, others curious, as the boy smiled and waited patiently, as if he knew something they didn't. For the first time in months, a flicker of curiosity, and maybe even hope, sparked in Anya's heart. Could this boy be the miracle she had been waiting for? Or was it just another cruel disappointment? The villagers gathered slowly around the small garden, their curiosity mixed with skepticism. "How can a beggar boy make a girl walk again?" whispered one elderly woman, clutching her shawl tightly. "This is madness," muttered another. But the boy didn't seem to notice. He only smiled, calm and confident, like someone carrying a secret that the world was not yet ready to understand. He knelt down in front of Anya, dust flying from his bare knees as he moved. "All it takes," he said softly, "is belief, and a little rhythm." The words hung in the air, strange and almost magical. And for the first time in months, Anya's mother felt a glimmer of hope. Do you really think this will work?" she asked cautiously. The boy nodded, his eyes gleaming. "Try me. Just trust me for a few minutes." Then he began to move, not like an ordinary dance, but like a story unfolding through motion. His feet tapped the ground in a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the earth itself. His arms twisted and spun, drawing invisible circles in the air. Every motion was precise yet fluid, a strange harmony of strength and grace. The villagers watched in stunned silence, unable to look away. Anya's eyes grew wide as the boy extended his hand to her. "Come on, little one," he said gently. She hesitated, fear and hope battling inside her. With a deep breath, she reached out. The moment her tiny hand touched his, something shifted, a spark of courage, a whisper of strength she hadn't felt in years. The boy encouraged her with every step. "Yes, just like that. One more step!" he cheered. Slowly, trembling at first, Anya's legs began to obey. The muscles that had forgotten how to move remembered something long buried: the joy of motion. Her heart raced with every wobble and sway. The villagers held their breath as Anya took step after step, supported by the boy's firm, guiding hand. Each movement was a victory, a triumph of hope over despair. The garden, once silent and ordinary, now buzzed with the energy of possibility. By the time the sun dipped toward the horizon, Anya was standing on her own, her laughter ringing like bells. The boy bowed slightly, a knowing smile on his dusty face. It wasn't just a dance, it was a miracle, a reminder that sometimes belief and courage can achieve what medicine and logic cannot. Anya's legs trembled like fragile branches in the wind. Her tiny feet wobbled as if unsure whether they remembered how to carry her. The villagers watched in stunned silence, holding their breath with every movement. Her parents' hearts pounded in their chests. They had almost given up hope. But now, hope was standing right before them, one shaky step at a time. The beggar boy knelt in front of her, his eyes sparkling with encouragement. "Take my hand. You can do this," he said softly, his voice steady like a guiding anchor. She reached out with all the courage she could muster. The moment their hands met, it was as if a surge of energy flowed into her legs. She stepped forward, hesitated, and then stepped again. A hush fell over the garden. Then, as if the universe itself was cheering, she took a third step. This one stronger, more confident. A small, radiant smile appeared on her face, lighting up her entire being. She looked down at her feet in disbelief. "I'm walking," she whispered, her voice trembling with awe. The boy clapped his hands and stomped to the rhythm, urging her on. "Again! One more time!" Slowly, gradually, Anya began to move without fear. Her legs wobbled less, her steps grew steadier, and the joy in her heart overflowed into laughter that echoed across the village. Her parents rushed forward, tears streaming down their faces, and hugged her tightly. How is this possible?" her mother gasped. The boy just smiled, brushing dust from his clothes as if it were nothing extraordinary. "Sometimes," he said simply, "all it takes is belief. And a little courage." The villagers began to murmur in amazement, some falling to their knees, others clapping, unable to contain their astonishment. The boy had done the impossible. He had awakened not just Anya's legs, but her spirit. By the time the sun began to dip behind the hills, Anya was running small circles in the garden, her laughter ringing louder and brighter than ever. The boy watched quietly, satisfied that his task was complete. And then, without a word, he slipped away into the streets, leaving behind only a trail of dust and a village forever changed by the miracle they had witnessed. Anya's first steps weren't just the return of her legs. They were the birth of hope, courage, and the realization that miracles sometimes arrive in the most unexpected forms. The village was buzzing with whispers and wonder the next morning. People couldn't stop talking about the beggar boy and the miraculous way he had helped Anya walk. Some called it magic, others a miracle, but everyone agreed on one thing. This was something extraordinary, something that would be remembered for generations. Anya, now standing tall and laughing freely, became a symbol of hope. Her parents, who had once felt hopeless and powerless, found a new sense of purpose. They realized that miracles aren't always found in medicine, money, or science. They often arrive in the form of courage, faith, and kindness. The villagers, too, were changed. They looked at the world differently, more carefully noticing the small acts of help and compassion around them. They began helping neighbors, supporting the elderly, and offering aid to those in need. The beggar boy's simple act had ignited a ripple of generosity that reached far beyond one little girl. Anya herself never forgot the boy who had given her the gift of movement. She would often sit in the garden, remembering his dusty clothes, the sparkle in his eyes, and the rhythm of his dance that seemed to awaken her legs. Every time she danced, she felt a surge of energy and courage, reminding her that no obstacle is too great when you have hope in your heart. Her story spread beyond the village. People came from miles around to see the girl who had been brought back to life by a mysterious child. And while the boy never returned, his lesson lingered. Even the smallest, humblest among us can hold the power to change someone's world. Parents taught their children about courage and belief, showing them that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. The village children ran through the streets freely, laughing as Anya once had, inspired by her story. The elders smiled knowingly, remembering that miracles often arrive quietly. Wrapped in humility and heart, and Anya herself understood something powerful. Life could be hard, sometimes cruel, but hope, faith, and kindness have the ability to transform even the darkest moments into light. That small boy didn't just teach her to walk, he taught everyone in the village to believe in the impossible.
Years passed, and Anya grew into a graceful young woman, full of confidence and life. The girl who had once sat by the window, longing to walk, was now a dancer whose movements seemed to tell the story of her journey from despair to hope, from fear to courage. Every time she twirled, every leap she took, she remembered the beggar boy whose small hand had guided her first steps. The boy never returned. Some said he was magical, some believed he was a wandering spirit, sent to teach the village a lesson. Anya didn't care about the mysteries or explanations. She knew what mattered was the gift he had given her, not just the ability to walk, but the belief that anything is possible when you trust yourself and have courage in your heart. She began sharing her story far and wide. Children listened with wide eyes as she described her first shaky steps, the boy's infectious rhythm, and the overwhelming joy of finally running freely again. Adults, too, were captivated. Parents felt hope rekindled for their struggling children. Those who had faced failures or disappointments saw a reminder that miracles often come from the most unexpected sources. In her village, life had changed forever. People treated one another with more kindness, helped each other without hesitation, and looked for ways to create small miracles of their own. And Anya became a living reminder that hope is powerful, that it can lift the smallest spirits, awaken the weakest hearts, and change the course of lives. Even as she traveled to distant towns to dance, she carried that lesson with her. Sometimes, a miracle doesn't need riches, fame, or grand gestures. Sometimes, it needs only a hand to hold, a rhythm to follow, and a heart willing to believe. And so, whenever someone doubted themselves, whenever someone felt trapped in despair, the story of a little beggar boy and a girl who couldn't walk became a beacon of inspiration. It whispered to every heart willing to listen, never give up, believe in the impossible, trust the magic within yourself. Anya's life became a living testament that even the smallest gestures of courage and kindness can leave an impact far greater than anyone could imagine, because sometimes the most extraordinary miracles are not about what the world gives us, they are about what we dare to believe, and the hope we carry forward, one step at a time.